So Microsoft Teams, it's a very cool new service that's part of the Office 365 suite. And, there's a lot of excitement, there's a lot of groundswell. How do you see it playing a part in a classroom setting, and what is it really?
So there is a lot of excitement about Microsoft Teams in classrooms and in education in particular, and being part of Office 365, which is, as you know, something that's very heavily used in the education industry at the moment. What it does, and what Microsoft Teams does, is brings together a whole bunch of different aspects of Office 365 into the one place. So if you think about OneNote, if you think about SharePoint files, if you think about even the assignment function, which used to be part of a different product called Microsoft Classroom, that's now come into Microsoft Teams. So a teacher can create a team built on the existing infrastructure of Office 365, so their existing groups and things like that. They can build teams within those constructs, and then they're able to go through and share files, have conversation. They can add in extra third-party add-ins. There's hundreds of different add-ins that you can add into that classroom as well. So there's a lot of excitement. It's a very new product, and it's bringing together a lot of the different functions of Office 365.
Would it be fair to classify Microsoft Teams as a platform where, say, collaboration could meet productivity, or does it do more than that?
I mean, absolutely. Right now, today, absolutely, I would say productivity and collaboration, combined in Microsoft Teams is a really good way to put it. I mean, even just the ability to see your calendar and your OneNote notebook in the same place, to see that on your mobile phone, as well as on your desktop computer, as well as on your laptop or whatever device you might be using. It really does break down a lot of those collaboration and productivity barriers. So it's definitely heading in that direction.
So oftentimes it's asked, there's such a robust amount of applications within the Office suite. How do I know what to use when and for what different purpose within a classroom setting? And how do IT administrators and business leaders in a school setting actually face that question when it comes to something like Teams that's been introduced?
So it's a really good question, and it's one that comes up quite often. Where Teams really works well is in collaborative groups. So we'd probably say your year level or your whole school or your parent community, they're going to be really well served in something like Yammer, where they can have conversations, share files, and have that level of collaboration. Now, a classroom like Year 7 English, Year 7E English, to be more specific, they're going to be really well served by being able to access a specific OneNote, a specific file share, as well as some of those extra add-ins that have been put in there, whether they're different applications that run within Teams. So that's sort of a way to differentiate some of those use cases for Microsoft Teams.
I mean, you've kind of alluded to it. There's different components of the Office suite built into Teams. Can you kind of elaborate on what those components might be or those applications might be?
Yeah, so the fundamental infrastructure behind Office 365 is what runs Microsoft Teams. So things like SharePoint Online, that's part of Teams. Things like OneNote, running on Teams as well. In the future, and part of the roadmap around Teams is that you'll be able to do more. So you'll have things like Skype for Business, calling features come into Teams in the future as well. You can already do chat, and you can do IM sort of things in there, but you'll see more of that come in the future.
So it's really powerful in the sense that it's almost a one-stop shop for your needs and what you would traditionally go to different applications in the Office suite for.
Absolutely.
Would that be fair to say?
Yeah, that's very fair to say. And I think moving forward, it will really start to serve a purpose of being that one-stop shop. The app that students open, whether that's in their web browser, on their device, on their mobile phone, to begin their collaboration in those individual collaboration groups.
And what about the social component of collaboration? How does Teams really bring that to life?
So when you're using Teams in a classroom setting and you've created a group, it might be Year 7E English. In that kind of an environment, you've got this ability to post on a forum style, very much like Yammer, and collaborate. So you've got the ability to do that. You can share files, whether that's a OneNote, whether it's a Word document, PowerPoint. Realistically, it can be a lot of different things. That's the kind of collaboration and social engagement you can have.
And so I take it you're a user of Teams yourself on the daily.
Yes.
Is there a favorite feature of yours within the Teams stack?
So I do have a favorite feature, and that's the ability to have a wider spectrum of different add-ins. So things like Giphy, so you can share GIFs, as well as
add a bit of personality
add a little bit of personality to your day. But I guess beyond that, in the education context, it's really going to be assignments. That's going to be a really key part of Teams moving forward. The ability to mark, grade, have that continuous reporting. Yeah.
If teachers want to enable Teams in their classrooms, etc., what's really the onus on me, say if I were an IT administrator, to make that really happen and support that?
Yeah, so for Teams, it's built on the infrastructure of Office 365. So there's a requirement there to have Office 365 and to have those different pieces of the puzzle sort of turned on and active. We have really good documentation, docs.microsoft.com/education can walk you through the steps that you need to take to make sure you are ready for Teams. So that would be a resource I would recommend.
And do you find that a lot of schools have already started to take up Teams and there has been that interest supported by a tangible, hands-on experience that's followed it?
Yeah, definitely a lot of schools are looking at this, and even education systems are looking at this as something that's really going to be able to change the conversation in their schools and change the collaboration nature in their schools. So if you think about just even the way that the users are structured, so you have a different type of user for a faculty, a different type for a student. You can have professional learning communities. You can even, have more wider communities as well. So it does provide a lot of customization, in mind, with schools in mind.
And Teams, you believe, is something that's here to stay?
Absolutely.
Brilliant. Any last words for us, Jesse, on the Teams front, whether it be deployment, usage, hands-on practice?
So there's a lot of content online that I would refer people to look at. Keeping up to date with our ITIQ blog series where we talk about Teams. It's one of those products that's still very quickly being developed over time. It takes them on a very agile deployment methodology or development methodology. So it's something that constantly changes. So I definitely encourage people to keep up to date with our blogs, our social posting as well. That's where you'll find out the most up-to-date information.
Phenomenal. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Thanks, Tash.